So it's been so long since I last made a video with my camera, but this is a special occasion. Of course I'm gonna go back to Papa Louie. I'm actually obsessed with the games of Papa Louie at the moment, and sometimes I even play alone in my own profiles. Currently I wanted to review, I haven't really played this game, the Unicorn Princess, which it's not really visible at the moment, but when I close the light it will be. So that's the game. It's the Unicorn Princess. It's quite babies and cheap and all that stuff. It's actually for little girls. I've seen grandmothers purchasing this game for the grandkids, both genders or any gender, I suppose. Um, and I thought I would have to give it a go because when a kid purchases a game, obviously I have to have it too. Not from the kid itself, obviously I'm gonna buy my own copy. But yeah, uh, as I am also purchasing Happy Meal from McDonald's, like I am built to have kid stuff as a person myself. Like even though I'm an adult, I don't know, it's just my brain is still 5 years old. And yeah, anyways, so that's the game. And I haven't played it. I actually tried the tutorial one day, but I was really tired and yeah, I didn't really have the appetite. But today I was gonna, like, not exactly celebrate, but it's actually yesterday it was, but I realized it very very late, 8 o'clock at night. To be fair, I realized that yesterday was actually my very special Sabbath that I have with my dad. Yeah, I didn't notice, and he didn't let me know either. He's not really the type of guy to my father to, like, pay attention when you don't honor your Sabbath, and maybe that clashes with the Bible at the moment. And if you're like, but Helga, why does he always get angry with people who don't observe the Sabbath in the Old Testament? Because the people in the Old Testament were very special people. They they had an eye for disobedience. That's why he hated that. He he really has the same tendency with pretty much everything in his existence, I suppose, in his personality. Like, this is why Jesus wasn't ever really, like, strict with the Sabbath. And the Pharisees were confused, and they were like, this person is actually curing and like healing people and doing stuff around on the Sabbath. And there are many Christians who actually say that, yeah, but he's actually Yahweh. Jesus is actually Yahweh, so he can do anything. He's not really by, like, bound by the laws that he gave us. And yeah, that's a valid point, I suppose, from a Christian perspective, but it doesn't really make sense from a perspective like Judaism or like an atheist. If they read that, they will think that Jesus was actually not obeying the law. No, that's not the case. um, he just saw the Sabbath exactly as it was. He said, I cured the person on Sabbath. Don't tell me this is actually working. It's not. You actually heal a person. If you had like an animal in need that day, you would actually do that. You wouldn't stay at home. And that's the correct way to worship God. That's what Jesus said that day. Um, but apart from that, if we speak about the Old Testament era, and we are like, why is he so angry just because the Sabbath is not observed? That's exactly with anybody that's been watching my content. That's exactly the case with me and my ex. My ex refused to like my post. This obviously is not part of the law. My dad didn't say observe the law by liking posts, because internet obviously didn't exist back then, but he didn't leave any specific instruction like that. But he was actually very angry, and he doesn't allow me to speak to him even because he doesn't like my posts. The reason he's doing that is exactly the same reason that he's actually telling people not to, like, skip the Sabbath. It's because it has to do with the intention. It's, you are asked to do something, like in the Sabbath. case, it's exactly the same with the likes in the posts. It's like observing something that somebody, whoever this somebody is, doesn't have to do with God or animal or whatever. Somebody asked you to do something because they actually want your company or yourself. Like my dad gave the Sabbath so people wouldn't work that day and they would actually have fellowship with him, and they refused him. That's why he was always so mad, and that's why he actually ousted people from the planet because of that. Because he's actually mad that people don't want to hang around with him. And people are like, he is very strict. No, he's not. He's actually like, I asked you for your company, and I am the bad guy when you don't even want to be with me, and you're actually doing stuff that day, and you know I asked you, and you openly disobey me. That's what he's actually doing in the Old Testament. So it doesn't really contradict what Jesus is doing. It's actually in the correct alignment. And yeah, people obviously don't do that. They don't see that probably because they don't want to comply with what my dad says. And yeah, that's the case with my ex. As I said, he he refused to like my post. That made my dad furious, obviously, for the same exact same reason. It has to do with the intention. Somebody asks you for something, you openly and like unashamed, you disobey that, you go against that. And yeah, that's enough for my dad to become a grim reaper. For anybody interested, just read the Old Testament. A guy was actually gathering woods or something like that in a Sabbath, and my dad just casually said, "Stone this person." And yeah, that's my dad. And do I like it? Yeah, I like it. I like it. My dad is the coolest guy on earth, obviously, and he's not from Earth even. Um, because he understands very well. That's why I agree with him wholeheartedly. Um, he understands how a relationship should work, whether this relationship is father and son or partners or friends or anything. He understands the deal, he gets it. And that's really rare. I haven't really encountered this in my life. And oh well, oh well. But anyways, I think I went too long with this intro. This is 7 minutes and 30 seconds or something. Yeah, it's still recording. But yeah, that's the game that I actually purchased, and I wanted to play it. I really like the trailer that I saw, the teaser trailer that I saw on YouTube, and I decided to give it a go when I saw that it had a very good like rating on Amazon. Um, so yeah, what's the deal with the game? I don't know. Do I have to turn a little lower this? I know that I played this with Dead by Daylight. Maybe this is better. Yeah. So that's the Unicorn Princess. This is the game that my dad purchased for me for my anniversary with him. What type of anniversary this is? This is my Sabbath, my special Sabbath. I don't know, is this the word for it, anniversary? I'm not quite sure. Like when it was 26th of August 2020, so that was like yesterday. If we speak about like anniversary, Sabbath, I don't know the word. Um, it was yesterday, but as I said, I forgot entirely about the day, so I'm actually celebrating it today. My dad set me free from having like shame about watching porn, and I can never pay him enough for that. I can never forget that, and that's why I have noted this day down, and I have it like my special Sabbath, and I'm not doing anything that day. I'm not doing anything. I'm just having fellowship with him, and yeah, I call it anniversary. I suppose it's like when I realized who he really is, where he really stands with porn, and what he really taught both in the Old Testament and in the New Testament. And when he did that, he actually like gave me some scriptures from the Old Testament. The Old Testament is my favorite scripture. I don't really like the New Testament. Not that it's not good, but my personal preference. Usually people prefer the New Testament when they read it. I prefer the Old Testament. He gave me Ezekiel 16, 28, I think. I'm not quite sure. It's about where Yahweh says that he has two wives, and I don't even know how to pronounce their names in English. I think Oliva and Ola are in Greek. I have no idea how they are in English. And also some parts from Isaiah, um, where he is talking to Jerusalem. He's calling her a wife. Then he's talking in Isaiah 66 is the chapter, the other chapter. It speaks about Jerusalem becoming a mother when she least expects it because she's actually barren. And I was reading all these scriptures and I realized that, like, fuck, he's not a misogynist, isn't he's actually really cool with all that crap, you know. And then I read, like, the very much next week, maybe even less than that, I think maybe in 2 days worth of time, he gave me to read, like, he said Song of Songs, Song of Solomon. If you know it like that, I suppose. But he gave me these scriptures and I read them and I was bamboozled that the Song of Songs, I hadn't read the scripture before, has so many sexual metaphors in it. It has a specific metaphor he had translated to me from Hebrew. Um, it said about the guy putting his hand in the door handle, and that is actually, like, the word hand in Hebrew is actually a metaphor for penis. I didn't know that. Obviously, this is not like something we say in Greek or something I could have understood from my culture. No way, nothing like that pointed it to that direction. And he explained it this to me, and I was like, "Fuck, he's actually very open with this stuff. Like, I would never expect him to be like that." And that was the same summer. Later, I purchased the 50 Shades of Grey book. Actually, my mom, she was going to her work, she found the first installment, she gave it to me, and I read it, and I was like, "Fuck, this is my favorite book ever." And I didn't have any shame reading 50 Shades of Grey because of my father, because the scriptures that he gave me, perhaps they seem random to a random person, but I was struggling with shame from porn, from watching porn, because in the Christian church, obviously, this is known even for, like, I suppose, people in rare tribes in Mars, I suppose, in a different planet. We all know that the church has banned sexuality and they don't see it. I suppose as the pagans see it today, and this is very, very contradictory, um, because the pagans were the people who didn't accept sexuality in the ancient times, and the Jewish, the Hebrews, were the people who had originally instructions from God to honor sexuality. But because today Christians have rejected sexuality, who is gonna accept it? Obviously, culturally speaking, if the coin is reversed, then obviously you have to see it somewhere else. So yeah, obviously the pagans see it as a good thing. So if you are a pagan watching me, hi, my name is Helga. I am an ex-pagan. Sexuality is not part of your religion; it's part of my religion. That doesn't mean you shouldn't honor it, obviously, but I'm just explaining to you. Zeus and his gang don't like sexuality. It's only something that it is venerated in my sacred texts, and you have to know that, because nobody else will gonna tell you. But apart from that, the Jewish, even I have read, they have also stopped reading Song of Songs and the specific Ezekiel verses because they are very tricky for them. That's what I read. Maybe I am wrong. I'm not saying that I know this for a fact. I said I have read it, so maybe this is not a fact. But since I read it in, like, valid sources, maybe, just maybe this is correct. But I'm speaking about Christianity again. I'm just explaining here. I'm just speaking about Christianity. But going back to my porn shame, I had a porn shame for many years, I suppose. Um, about what was it for many years? I'm not quite sure. Like about 2 years, three, maybe. It wasn't so intense in the beginning, but it ended up being very intense just slightly before my father set me free from that. And obviously, as we all know, we don't talk to anybody about that. We don't confide that we actually like we watch porn. We don't do that to anybody, not even our best friends. My best friends didn't know that about me, and like uh, when you know only God knows that he watches you, and you know that he watches, that makes you feel horrible, and you're like, I wanted to stop and I can't. And yeah, he I didn't ask him to cure me. He did it. He cured my shame because he gave me these scriptures, and I read them, and I realized that I have understood some stuff about him that are not his. And from that day I didn't have any shame whatsoever with myself. I felt free spiritually, that I'm not doing anything bad, and that's just biological need. And when you use it just for your biology and not to harm others, obviously you get what I mean here, and it doesn't interfere with your life. Like you, as I have read in some articles, you read or watch whatever erotica, and you can't really function as a human being in the entire rest of your day. That's actually problematic, I get that. But majority of us don't have this issue, so I don't have any reason anymore to feel shame about that. And that's all thanks to my dad. And that day for me is 26th of August 2020, so that marks 5 days since then, and I am very proud of him for doing that to me. Like, if you're like, "Helga, why are you proud of your dad?" Because he proved that he's better than all the pagan deities out there. That's why I am proud of him. I'm like, yeah, Team Daddy, he's the best. And um, now I'm very proud to say that I still watch porn religiously as well. I have no plans to quit, and I'm actually having like very specific plans for starting my Fansly account. And that's all because of my dad, because he set me free and he didn't want me to live in shame. You will watch many content creators of Christianity telling you to feel shame about your body and how porn is banned, which is crazy because videos didn't exist back in the days of Moses or even in the days of Apostle Paul, but they still say it. And that's really disgusting, because it was it was not the case. And you should really be ashamed of adding stuff in the law of my dad. And that's why I am proud of him for being a better person than all of the pagan deities out there. And when I see content creators like I'm dropping names here, but that's not a targeted thing. That's a general rule that I have noticed. I've seen Christians saying God doesn't want you to watch porn. You have to quit the sin, and He set me free from that. And like, yeah, He really did, because He didn't set me free from the same thing like you. He set you free from watching porn, you say, and He set me free from being ashamed of watching porn. That's quite difference here, isn't it? We don't have the same God here. Your God didn't want you to watch porn. My God didn't want me to be ashamed of that. That's quite different. So we don't have the same deity. I have my Father God, and you have the devil, obviously, because you are shaming people for watching it when they don't harm you and they are adults doing something that adults are allowed to do with their bodies. It's about freedom of self-expression. And then I see pagans like Sarah, who has a channel here on YouTube, and she's saying stuff like, um, the divine feminine, Hecate is the divine feminine, and yeah, her sexuality, and then she drops stuff like I am queer and my deity allows that, and I'm like, no, Hecate, the Hecate I know as an ex-pagan and as a Greek would never ever accept any queer person. That's crap. The only person who would accept a um, queer person is my dad, because my dad is, as I called him the other day, mommy. He's queer himself. He's a non-binary person. He's not actually like a standard dad. I suppose he goes by dad, but he's actually non-binary. And I'm saying that because it's really a blasphemy for my dad to say that Hecate, a demon, fallen angel, will want you to be queer and express your sexuality when she doesn't. But my dad wants you to express your sexuality because he is queer himself. Hecate is not queer. She's not. If we speak about divine feminine, we speak about genders. We have to accept that. And my dad is not a gender deity. He is a non-binary person. And Hecate, if she embodies, I speak about Sarah here, the divine feminine, then she's a woman. So she doesn't really have queerness in her. She's a cis woman, even if she's a deity. She's not, but I'm just playing here with the theology that the pagan world has. And no, I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just explaining in case you wanna see the facts for yourselves and convert to the true deity out there, my dad. Because a Kati would never want you to watch porn. If you wanna be a true pagan, you have to quit sexuality and food. And I'm covering all this stuff in my debut novel I intend to publish, Jezebel. Okay, that was a very long intro, I suppose, but I really wanted to cover about my journey with shame and all that crap. And I'm not ashamed anymore. I am actually feeling so liberated to do this video at the moment. I feel incredible, and I'm doing this specifically for my dad. Just to say, Anna, one. Anna is one Greek. Thank you for what you have done for me all these years. I can never thank you enough for that, and really thank you, Dad, for that. Uh, but I was contemplating. That's the last thing I wanted to say, to do this video, because I was like, my ex is gonna get really like I suppose jealous of me talking about my dad. He didn't really want me to do that, and I feel free for actually doing that because it's actually myself, and I didn't wanna silence myself because of a nasty person who never accepted me for who I am, and he never liked anything I did, and he always had issues with the way I was thinking, the way I behaved. If I am writing down in my notes, and he was like, Helga, don't write down, please, just think. And I was like, are you gonna monitor how I behave with my fucking body? And that's where my dad comes into place. My dad doesn't care how I use my body as long as I am respectful for other people. And my ex isn't that person, obviously. He was monitoring everything I was doing. He didn't like my ideas. He was always, yes, Helga, but, yes, Helga, but. And my dissertation and essay comments, he was always being the very nastiest person he could be. And he never liked anything I did. So having my dad saying he doesn't like how you address me, that doesn't come as a surprise. He never liked anything I did. So I am glad I am liberating myself, and I don't do any more stuff that other people want me to do. And they want to confine me in a cage because I don't fulfill their creepy fantasies, I suppose. So yeah, if you are watching this video and you are a woman and you are with a such guy, dump him. that's all I'm gonna say. As I dumped my ex, I'm just waiting now for my godly Christian man who will come to me from my dad, a right wing Christian man who will respect my dad and who will respect my choices and my body, because if I can say something about the woke agenda, as I say always about the woke agenda, the left doesn't really want you to be yourself. The left usually wants you to convert to their beliefs. Be an atheist, be this and that. It's written in their books. Karl Marx didn't want to have a religion. He wanted us to be atheists and read the Republic. That's precisely his words from his works. I have read his works. I was a left sided person back in the days. Not anymore. Now I am totally conservative even with the right, because that's the reason I am with the right. The right wants you to be individualistic, let's say, let's put it that way, not conforming like a sheep, like you are a flock of sheep with what other people think or what other people want you to do. And as a person who identifies as a right at the moment, right wing, I wouldn't want anybody to do my stuff. I want them to be themselves and express themselves authentically as they are. And the left is not about that. It never was, because it's written even in Marx, and it's never gonna be. And my ex was a left person, and that's why he wanted me to be conformed in a specific cage, because this is how he was born, and he was trained to be in his country, which is a left wing country. And no, thank you. I am a European, thank you very much. I am waiting for my European Christian right wing guy who will honor my voice and he won't stop me and try to silence me. And if you are a woman, please follow my lead. If you have a man like that, dump him and find another guy from my father who is gonna honor your voice and is not gonna silence you and make you feel ashamed for wanting to do a video with a game called the Unicorn Princess, wanting to honor your father, and you think that this will upset your human husband. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. And I'm celebrating here my anniversary with my dad, since he liberated me from being ashamed about my body and about my needs and my film preferences. So yeah, let's start with the game, I suppose, now that I said all that crap and I got them out of the way. Takes a little bit time, I guess, to load. Okay. And obviously my dad purchased the game for me because suggested the game for me to purchase it. That's the correct way to say it. Because, as he had said in my ex, one day he sees me as a cute pink princess, and yeah, that was his idea. And yeah, that's very childish game. It's a game for kids, obviously, and yeah, we all know our father and our mother usually sees us as kids. You can never escape that, pretty much. So obviously he was not gonna buy me something different apart from a kids game. And that's hilarious, isn't it? So save game, let's go for starting. I've no fucking idea what this game is about, but it seemed so cool when I saw it like online. So I guess we will see. I was thinking of doing an editing um, before I began the video, but now I was thinking I want to post it raw and unedited as it is because I intended this video to be different from my other content in terms of this being special about my spiritual journey.
Hello, I'm Layla, and I'm standing on the marker in front of my closet. Open the closet.
Okay, so we press A.
This
Interact.
is my closet, where I can change my clothes or hair color at any time. There are two areas, casual clothing and medieval clothing. Use
Okay.
the arrow button to switch between the areas. I don't have any medieval clothing right now, so this area is empty for the moment. There isn't a lot of variety in my wardrobe at the moment, but I can buy things at Ramona's store in the village.
Okay.
I should ride over there now and see if she's got anything new in. Close the closet using the button with the check mark.
Okay. So I have to. Okay, you can put this like okay, I will put that on. I have a few options. I will put this. Yeah, I think this is quite better.
I'm sure you've already noticed the text box at the bottom of the screen.
I
This
did.
always shows my current task, but I also have a mission booklet, which you can check at any time.
Okay. So mission booklet.
This is my mission booklet. Here you can see my current task. I should go to my horse stable.
I should go to my horse stable.
As you
Okay.
can see, next to the story section, there are also achievements and collectibles. But at the moment, I have neither of these. Close the mission booklet by pressing the button with the check mark.
Okay.
Now let's head over to the stable. Its location is marked on the little map in the bottom right corner of the screen with an X. I am represented by an arrow on the map. I
Okay.
also have a large map, which can be opened. Open the map now.
Okay.
My current destination is marked on the map with an X. The stable is located right next to my house. You can close the map now.
Okay.
Now leave the house and go to the stable.
Okay. Okay. Now we move the character as a normal character, right? Yeah, it reminds me of the setting, apart from the computer, I suppose, reminds me of. Oh, we can see the house. Reminds me of the Jason game, Friday the 13th, which is, by the way, if you're not watching me closely, it's my fucking favorite game ever. I fucking love Jason, and I actually read that there is a new game of Jason, Friday the 13th, coming around, and I couldn't be more happy about that.
This is your horse. You can now give it a name.
Oh, you can give the name to the horse. Okay. Do I know any horses? There was Shadow in um, Lord of the Rings. So that was the horse of Gandalf, right?
So, you've given your horse a great name. You can now open the horse overview and check the status of your horse.
Oopsie. What's the button?
Here you can see your
Okay.
horse and all the essential information about it. Name, endurance, and contentment. You can open or close the horse overview at any time.
Okay.
Before we go out on a ride, I still need to tack up the horse with my horse equipment. To do this, go to the marker at the back of the stable.
Okay. So I have to go there. Okay.
up the horse here. There are two areas, modern and medieval horse accessories. Use the arrow button to switch between the areas. I don't have any medieval horse accessories yet, so this area is still empty. I can buy more modern horse accessories at Finn's store in the village. When I'm done, I can close the horse accessories menu using the Done button.
Okay.
Now let's head to the village. Go to the marker near your horse in front of the stable.
Okay. So now we will go to the village.
Now
Okay.
I can mount and dismount.
Okay.
You can now see some new displays at the top of the screen. The bar shows the horse's endurance. The faster you ride, the faster the horse loses endurance.
Okay.
Walk or stop, and it will recover endurance.
Okay.
The heart icon shows your horse's contentment. If a horse is dirty, it will become unhappy and may not jump or run fast.
Okay.
Oh, my horse is very unhappy because it's dirty. I need to groom it before riding into the village.
Okay.
Now I can steer the horse.
Okay. So
This is how you can choose your horse's pace, making it go faster or slower.
okay. So
This is how you can make your horse jump. But right now, it is too dirty and unhappy, so it won't jump.
okay, where am I supposed to take the horse? Because she said I have to clean it. Right to the marker next to the grooming area. Okay. Not exactly sure where this is. Oh, I have to look at the map, I suppose. Yeah.
I am now in the grooming view. Here you can see all the tasks you need to complete to best groom the horse. Once you have completed them, they will be marked with a check mark. Now, select the brush.
Next to.
First, remove the coarse dirt. To do this, simply go over the horse with the brush. The bar at the top will show your progress.
Okay. Okay, and now we are brushing it. That's very fun actually.
Very good! Now you should wash it. To do this, select the sponge. Now you can go over the horse's coat with the sponge, just like you did with the brush, and get rid of the remaining dirt. Finally, select the hoof pick to scrape out the horse's hooves.
Okay.
Now go over the little lumps with the hoof pick several times to clean the hooves.
Okay.
Very good! The horse is now clean again and completely happy. Now, press the Done button to finish grooming.
Um, how is that done? Not quite sure.
Now I can finally ride into the village and visit Ramona's store. Let's go!
Okay. Interact. Okay. I can see that the stamina of the horse is expiring, so I suppose we have to let it rest as we are going where we are going. I don't know, should I go? Is it the wrong way I'm going here? I'm not quite sure. I saw a road from there. I'm not quite sure though. I don't think this is the way, is it? Yeah, I think that's the road. I guess it's a very nice open game for little girls, and it's actually dream even for me. I really like it too, to be fair. It's quite different from what I usually play. Usually I play Mario, and let's say that Mario is quite a challenging game. Yeah, many kids love Mario, but he's not really easy even for an adult. And I began playing Mario when I became 22. Mario has a very specific story with me. I was watching YouTube Nintendo teasers and I decided to buy the Luigi's Mansion, which was my first Super Mario game. Wow, that's lake, river, and I said lake, yeah, river, lake. Ah, river, not a lake. That's a river. So yeah, I was watching the videos and I decided to purchase Luigi's Mansion, and I did that because my ex wasn't responding to my texts, and I was thinking if I buy a game, maybe I will forget about it, and that's what happened. I had much fun playing the game, but I was like, is he gonna get with me again? He didn't. He fucked up every time we were together. So, what good thing I have from all these experiences? I became a Mario fan, and I actually my dream honeymoon is gonna be in Mario Land because of this. Because he gave me some of the happiest memories I had when my ex was making me upset, and he didn't give a shit about it. Um, Mario kept me company in the darkest moments of my life, and I just wanna get married and go there for a honeymoon in Osaka, Japan, for this reason. Am I still getting into the village? I'm not quite sure. I'm still driving and driving and driving. I don't know. Okay. It doesn't allow us to go further. Should I go from the other side? Did I go on the wrong side? I don't know. Okay, now we get in the village. The village reminds me of the Minecraft village. Dismount. Okay, okay.
Hello, Ramona. Have you got anything new in? Hello, Layla. There isn't much right now, but I'm working on a new collection. Feel free to take a look around, though. If you like something, select it and you will see its price. Press the buy button to purchase the product. If you want to leave my store, press the done button.
I prefer this hair, to be fair. I prefer her like this. Oopsie. Oh, no, no.
So, now I should pay Finn a visit. His store is just across from here.
Hello, Layla. Nice to see you. You can buy new horses in the horses category. You can buy new boxes in the boxes category. In the horse accessories category, you'll find saddles, bridles, and saddle blankets. Have fun browsing.
Okay,
If you like something, select it and you will see its price.
okay. I like this. This. Oopsie. Okay, we can buy horse as well.
Ah, yes. Before I forget, Penny wants to speak to you. Why don't you ride over there now? I think it may be urgent.
Penny? Okay, I'll go right over to see her. See you later, Finn.
I wanted to buy again. Okay. Uh, okay. Okay, now it's better. I suppose it's more in my needs.
Hello, Penny. Did you want to speak to me? Hello, Layla. You're finally here. Yes, I need to talk to you urgently. I need your help. Of course I'll help you. But oh, my son is so sad. His rabbit, Carrot, has gone missing.
Wow.
He was playing with Carrot at the bridge near the waterfall when he fell into the river. The rabbit was so scared it ran off. My son was able to swim to the riverbank, but now he's in bed with a cold. Okay, I'll ride right over to the bridge and take a look around. Oh, thank you so much, Layla. My son will be pleased.
Okay, let's go. She said to the bridge. I don't know if we can go from here. Still shows that we should go west. I don't understand. Okay. I guess I have to go back in the bridge. I hope I'm going in the wrong way. Not going in the wrong way. Where am I going?